Oke, sudah mulai live di YouTube. Silakan kepada Pak Timothy bisa dimulai acara kita webinar ini pada pagi hari ini.
Oke, thank you Ms. Ririn. Selamat pagi semuanya. Semoga semua dalam keadaan baik ya. Kia ora teman-teman sekalian, atau Bapak Ibu, orang tua, murid, dan teman-teman education agents mungkin yang hari ini hadir, baik lewat Zoom call ini ataupun lewat streaming hari ini. Pasti banyak juga yang di luar Jakarta. Intinya kalau misalkan dari teman-teman mungkin bahkan ada yang mau sharing dari kota mana aja nih, bisa tulis di chat juga gitu ya. Yang pasti semoga semua dalam keadaan baik. Also very good morning to all our friends from the university, Massey University and University of Canterbury today, as well as for Miss Siti Karina, who's going to be talking a little bit about her experience studying in New Zealand. Very warm welcome to everyone. Bu Naluri as well from Education New Zealand. So we have so many people today. Kita punya banyak banget guest hari ini, dan semoga hari ini acaranya bisa bermanfaat buat teman-teman sekalian gitu ya. Perkenalkan, nama aku tadi sudah dikenalkan juga, Timothy. Aku adalah Head of Operations dari TM College, sekaligus yang hari ini akan jadi host kalian. Di sini dari TM College sendiri ada aku sendiri, ada Miss Stella, dan juga ada Miss Ririn. Gitu ya. Jadi tanpa berbasa-basi lagi nih, mungkin kita langsung start aja. Start your New Zealand education with TM College. Apa sih yang kita mau pelajarin hari ini? Kita mau sedikit sharing mungkin mengenai pendidikan di New Zealand, apa yang kalian bisa experience. Nanti juga ada langsung sharing dari Mr. Brian dari Massey University and Miss Audrey as well dari University of Canterbury, dan juga dari Bu Naluri dari Education in New Zealand. Dan nantinya ada sedikit sharing dari Mbak Siti Karina juga gitu ya. Oke. Nah, teman-teman sekalian, tadi kalau misalnya aku sempat mention di awal, mungkin kita kan karena ini meeting ya, Zoom meeting, mungkin kita mau lebih interaktif juga. Jadinya kalau nanti ada presentasi, boleh kita mendengarkan, tapi kalau misalkan ada pertanyaan atau ada yang ingin ditanyakan, ada yang bingung, ada yang kurang jelas, monggo silahkan tulis di chat aja gitu kan, nanti kita bisa bacakan satu-satu sehingga nanti pertanyaan teman-teman sekalian bisa terjawab. Nah, untuk sekarang ini nih, untuk awal mula kita memulai acara hari ini, ada yang mau sharing sedikit nggak dari kota mana mungkin, atau kenapa sih tertarik ke New Zealand? Di chat gitu bisa ada yang tulis di chat. Atau masih malu-malu ya, masih pagi-pagi soalnya ya. Dari Surabaya, Mr. Edwin, thank you. Dari Bandung, Bu Naluri. Beda-beda ya semuanya. Dari New Zealand pasti ada juga. Oke, jadi kita mau tahu apa aja nih tentang University of Canterbury dan Massey University, dan tentu saja diakhiri nanti ada sesi gimana buat kuliah di New Zealand dengan tahun satunya di Indonesia dulu, tepatnya di Jakarta lewat TM College gitu ya. Kita juga nanti mau terakhir kan ada sharing dari Kak Siti, atau manggilnya apa nih, Kak Karina, Kak Siti, manggilnya enaknya gimana nih?
Karina boleh kok.
Karina boleh ya, oke. Gimana pengalamannya nanti kuliah di salah satu universitas di New Zealand? Nanti pasti akan ada sharing yang seru banget dari Karina juga. Lagi-lagi teman-teman silakan tulis chat pertanyaannya atau langsung lambaikan tangan ya kalau memang ada sesuatu yang kurang jelas. Oke, tanpa kita berlama-lama, kita mau mulai acara hari ini. Aku ingin persilahkan Bu Naluri Bella dari Education New Zealand untuk boleh sharing sedikit Bu mungkin tentang ENZ dan sedikit perkenalan tentang Ibu sendiri pastinya. Silakan Bu Naluri.
Halo semuanya, selamat siang. Maaf ya, ini agak-agak gelap, jadi harus dipakai sinar nih. Selamat siang semuanya, perkenalkan saya Naluri, saya merupakan Kepala Bidang Pendidikan Education New Zealand. Saya share screen sebentar. Nah, udah kelihatan kan ya? Selamat pagi semuanya teman-teman, terima kasih sudah berkesempatan hadir di acara hari ini, dan terima kasih juga untuk TM College, Pak Timothy dan tim, and also welcome to Brian and also Audrey and also Karina. They are all in New Zealand, jadi senang sekali ya bisa bertemu dengan teman-teman dari berbagai belahan dunia seperti itu. Nah, hari ini saya mau share sedikit aja sih tentang Education New Zealand itu apa. Jadi kita mulai aja kalau gitu. Sebentar ya. Kiora itu istilahnya kayak sapaan gitu ya. Kalau misalnya teman-teman di New Zealand terus bertemu dengan orang baru, biasanya kita suka nyebutnya Kiora atau halo seperti itu. Jadi nanti siapa tahu teman-teman ke New Zealand, teman-teman bisa juga bicara dan juga bisa belajar bahasa Maori, salah satu bahasa resmi New Zealand gitu. Kemudian sebelumnya saya mau ada trivia sedikit, silakan boleh dijawab di kolom chat. Ada beberapa pertanyaan. Yang pertama adalah, what is the capital city of New Zealand? Kira-kira ada yang tahu? What is the capital city of New Zealand? What is the capital city of New Zealand? Ada yang tahu nggak nih? Silakan boleh kirimkan jawabannya di chat. Wah, belum ada nih kayaknya. Yes, betul ya. Wellington, betul. Itu adalah capital city of New Zealand. Kemudian yang kedua, what is the most popular sport in New Zealand? What is the most popular sport in New Zealand? Ada yang tahu? Yes, Amine benar. Yang jawabannya adalah rugby ya. Bungee jumping juga populer dan in fact bungee jumping itu pertama kali ditemukan di New Zealand. Kemudian ini adalah tim rugby-nya. All Blacks, dan mereka itu sangat-sangat terkenal ya dan menang beberapa kali di World Champion. Yang ketiga, what is the population of New Zealand? What is the population of New Zealand? Ayo, siapa lagi? Siapa? Jawabannya yang benar sekarang adalah 5 juta. Less than Jakarta, betul, less than Jakarta. Jakarta itu sekitaran 10 juta sampai 15 juta ya, kalau di New Zealand itu 5 juta aja. Nah, perkenalan sedikit, terima kasih teman-teman yang sudah mengikuti. Jadi Education New Zealand ini adalah government agency atau perwakilan pemerintah yang memang memiliki tanggung jawab untuk memperkenalkan international education di New Zealand ke luar negeri, termasuk ke Indonesia. Kemudian kita nih punya cukup compact ya gitu untuk dari segi size, jadi hanya 90 staffan dan tersebar di 22 lokasi di seluruh dunia termasuk di Indonesia seperti itu. Dan saya satu-satunya perwakilan yang ada di Indonesia dan ditempatkan di kedutaan di kedutaan New Zealand di Indonesia seperti itu. COVID-19 nanti mungkin teman-teman bisa tanya langsung kepada either Karina, Brian atau misalnya Audrey di New Zealand, tapi mereka sudah back to normal ya basically karena memang seperti yang kita tahu, pemerintah New Zealand sangat well organized dalam handle COVID-19. Ini ada sedikit video tentang Education New Zealand, bisa dilihat ya.
Our world is changing, and our world needs new, because new doesn't just think about the world's problems, it cares. New acts boldly to solve challenges, but never forgets the importance of people.
It just opens my eyes to a much wider opportunities.
New is prepared for today and ready to create tomorrow.
I learned about identity, about myself.
New welcomes open minds and different perspectives.
The thing that surprised me the most is the diversity of culture here.
New is progressive and never stops learning.
Qualifications in New Zealand are recognized worldwide.
New is the problem solvers, the go-getters, the innovators, the big thinkers. New is a New Zealand education, and new is what the world needs.
Nah, itu sebagai pembukaan aja terkait Education New Zealand itu apa. Nah, kemudian saya mau membahas beberapa hal. Kenapa sih mesti di New Zealand? What's so special about New Zealand? Kenapa teman-teman harus recognize atau consider New Zealand seperti itu. Yang pertama, kenapa tidak? Karena memang New Zealand ini sangat unik. New Zealand menawarkan berbagai hal-hal yang mungkin tidak ditawarkan oleh negara tujuan lain gitu. Yang pertama, kita bicara soal creativity. Kenapa sih orang New Zealand sangat kreatif? Kita tahu orang New Zealand ini kan memang ada di ujung gitu ya, dekat kutub selatan, tapi justru karena memang kondisinya ada cukup jauh dari mana-mana, itu justru jadi positif side ya, karena mereka sudah tercipta menjadi seseorang yang inovatif, produktif, kemudian juga harus kreatif karena mereka harus memenuhi kebutuhannya sendiri seperti itu. Jadi tidak heran kalau misalnya New Zealand itu masuk ke dalam 10 besar nations yang terkenal akan kreativitasnya. Kemudian kalau misalnya teman-teman juga ingat Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, dan berbagai film Hollywood lainnya itu diciptakan atau dilakukan, didesain di New Zealand karena memang New Zealand terkenal akan studio animasinya seperti itu. Kemudian selain itu yang kedua kita juga terkenal sebagai pemimpin di student welfare. Kenapa ini penting? Karena New Zealand ini merupakan negara pertama yang mengadopsi a code of practice for the care of international students. Kenapa sih care of international students itu penting? Karena kita tahu ya kalau misalnya ke New Zealand mungkin teman-teman sendirian, teman-teman masih perlu guidance, teman-teman perlu dilindungi hak dan kewajibannya, teman-teman perlu merasa safe dan aman, dan itulah yang selalu dikedepankan oleh pemerintah New Zealand. Jadi pemerintah New Zealand bekerja sama dengan universitas yang ada di New Zealand untuk menciptakan suasana belajar yang aman, nyaman, dan tentram bagi international students, apalagi di saat COVID-19 seperti ini. Kemudian kita juga berbincang soal lulusannya New Zealand gimana sih? Apakah cukup kompetitif dibandingkan dengan negara-negara lain? Yes, of course gitu. Karena ternyata New Zealand itu menduduki peringkat ke-7 sebagai highest performing graduates, bahkan melebihi negara-negara yang sudah terkenal lainnya seperti US, Kanada, dan juga England gitu. Karena memang semua universitas dan juga semua student diajarkan bagaimana untuk siap menghadapi masa depan. Makanya kita juga disebut sebagai negara yang sangat fokus preparing student for the future gitu. Karena apa? Karena kan sekarang sebagian besar pembelajaran itu diajarkan untuk 21st century skills. Jadi skill-skills yang memang mungkin belum ada pekerjaannya saat ini, tapi harus sudah dijalankan, harus sudah diperkenalkan gitu. Karena kita tahu sekarang negara dunia ini sudah globalized, sudah memiliki percepatan dalam teknologi dan juga budaya seperti itu. Jadi memang harus dipersiapkan sedini mungkin. Kemudian kalau misalnya bicara soal quality, kita hanya punya 8 universitas negeri dan semuanya itu masuk ke dalam top 3% universitas terbaik di dunia menurut QS ranking. Jadi jangan khawatir, dimanapun teman-teman akan merasa nyaman, aman, dan juga merasa tidak perlu merasa berbeda gitu, karena semua universitasnya itu memiliki standar yang sama. Dan yang terakhir, kita juga tahu kalau New Zealand itu merupakan negara yang paling damai, bahkan selalu menduduki peringkat 1 dan 2 gitu, karena memang negaranya nyaman dan juga cantik seperti itu. Ini hanya sedikit informasi saja dari segi creativity. Kemudian ini adalah 8 universitas yang ada di New Zealand. Jadi kita ada New Zealand, kita kan ada 2 pulau besar ya, ada pulau yang di selatan dan pulau yang di utara. Nah, semua universitasnya itu tersebar di 2 pulau tersebut. Jadi ada yang Auckland, ada di Auckland itu ada AUT, dan juga ada University of Auckland, ada juga Waikato, kemudian juga di bawah ada Wellington, kemudian Otago, Massey, dan Lincoln. Itu semuanya memiliki standar yang sama, tapi balik lagi misalnya teman-teman fokusnya pengen kemana nih, pastinya universitas punya keunggulan tersendiri seperti itu. Jadi misalnya sekarang UC sama Massey, nanti ditanya aja kira-kira yang best program mereka itu apa sih, seperti itu ya. Nah, sekarang kita juga mau menjelaskan tentang Pathway to New Zealand. Kenapa sih kita bekerja sama TM College dan juga universitas di New Zealand? Karena kita tahu saat ini kan border di New Zealand itu masih tutup. Kenapa masih tutup? Karena memang kita ingin memastikan seluruh international students dan seluruh masyarakat di New Zealand itu aman, nyaman terlebih dahulu. Setelah semuanya sudah lebih baik gitu ya, kita sangat-sangat tidak sabar gitu untuk menunggu teman-teman kembali ke New Zealand. Tapi sekarang kita juga punya sebuah alternatif pathway di mana teman-teman bisa menghabiskan dulu New Zealand, kemudian baru nanti graduate dari New Zealand University. Itu yang kita sebut sebagai pathway programs. Nah, pathway programs ini tujuannya apa sih? Tujuannya untuk mempermudah teman-teman tentunya yang belum bisa berangkat ke New Zealand. Jadi teman-teman punya budget wise itu tentu saja lebih terjangkau. Kemudian teman-teman juga tidak harus pergi ke New Zealand karena memang sekarang kan kondisi dunia kan sedang agak carut marut lah seperti itu. Kemudian juga teman-teman memiliki flexibility, dan yang paling penting udah garansi teman-teman akan bisa lulus dari New Zealand University seperti itu. Kalau misalnya untuk TM College sendiri, mereka menawarkan International Year 1 tadi yang sudah seperti diinformasikan oleh Pak Timothy, 1 tahun di New Zealand, kemudian berikutnya 1 tahun di Indonesia, kemudian berikutnya di New Zealand, seperti itu. Nanti penjelasannya bisa teman-teman tanyakan langsung ke TM College atau ke universitas terkait, seperti itu ya. Sedikit informasi saja, ini juga sudah, Work Ready Graduate juga sudah. Saya mau satu lagi, saya mau kasih lihat video ini aja ya.
I left home when I was 15 to study in New Zealand. When I graduated from AUT, I loved Auckland so much that I bought a place there and spent most of my early stage of my advertising career in Auckland. I am the Chief Product Accelerator for L'Oreal USA. My role is to advise the organization what sort of new products we should be focusing or what sort of new services we would need to create in order to be first in beauty. And I'm based in New York City. I love the education structure in New Zealand because it really encourages a lot of critical thinking, and I think those are great values to have if you want to become a successful leader one day. The lecturers are very, very open-minded and also sensitive towards a lot of international students. So I feel that the climate, the ecosystem actually helped to set me up for success. What I really love about my role is the ability to travel around the world. So next month, I'm actually going to Hong Kong and Korea. It's important for someone to be very, very perceptive and also intuitive with whatever they are seeing in front of them. If I'm in New York, I would look at what people are wearing all the time. You need to have the curiosity to ask questions, and that's something that New Zealand actually teach you to have. It allows you to be yourself. It allows you to get the best in education because the standard there is so high. Everywhere you go in the world, when you mention to someone that, oh, I spend most of my university life in New Zealand, you are actually getting a lot of respect because of the high standard that we have in New Zealand. And I think that's something that is really, really unique about New Zealand in that sense that no other country can actually replicate. So to me, it is a great place for you to have a really interesting balance in terms of education and also personal development.
Nah, sepertinya udah jelas ya, seperti yang tadi saya sudah sampaikan juga, kalau misalnya graduate dari New Zealand itu di-recognize di seluruh dunia, jadi jangan khawatir, selalu ada yang tanya, nanti kalau misalnya setelah lulus gimana, apakah saya bisa bekerja di multinational company? Tenang saja teman-teman, itu semuanya bisa didapatkan kalau misalnya teman-teman lulus dari New Zealand University, seperti itu. Ini juga sudah diinformasikan. Ada yang mau jalan-jalan online dulu sebentar sebelum kita selesai, boleh ya, karena mungkin ada yang kangen atau pengen ke New Zealand. Jadi kita lihatin nih kecantikan New Zealand.
If these lands could speak, what would they say? They would say, welcome.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. They would invite you in to share this extraordinary part of the world. This place, it's yours too. This land is wide open for sharing. Our culture welcomes all cultures. So let us show you around. Lead you to our natural wonders. And throw you head first into our beautiful countryside. Because what you'll find down here, what you'll hear within our mountains, our lakes, and our people, what you'll discover on your journey throughout this precious land, is that you're welcome here. Make yourself at home.
Nah, itu tadi sedikit virtual jalan-jalannya. Jadi teman-teman nanti kalau misalnya berkesempatan untuk kuliah di New Zealand, teman-teman punya kesempatan untuk explore ya kecantikan New Zealand. Ini juga terakhir nih dari saya. Teman-teman kalau misalnya kuliah di New Zealand itu punya kesempatan untuk bekerja kurang lebih 20 jam per week during semester atau 40 jam per week during liburan ya. Jadi jangan khawatir, itu sudah entitled di visa teman-teman. Kemudian juga opportunities for internship and work experience, nanti bisa tanyain sama Karina karena mungkin sedang atau pernah menjalankan hal itu. Dan juga teman-teman kalau misalnya berkesempatan untuk kuliah di New Zealand, setelah lulus teman-teman juga bisa dapat open study visa ya. Post study visa itu selama maksimal 3 tahun seperti itu. Jadi teman-teman silakan, semoga teman-teman mendapatkan informasi terkait New Zealand. Jadi kalau misalnya nanti mau ada tanya-tanya, silakan bisa ditanyakan langsung saya setelah selesai. Terima kasih Pak Tim.
Ya, thank you Bu Naluri, informasinya lengkap banget ya teman-teman. Jadi itu tadi memang introduction mengenai New Zealand sendiri, dan memang Education New Zealand berperan sangat besar ya di Indonesia untuk bisa in a way promoting education in New Zealand seperti itu. Nah, mungkin untuk kita melanjutkan agenda hari ini, we want to invite Mr. Brian Bonavie, Regional Manager New Zealand and Southeast Asia from Massey University. We'll give you the stage right away. You can take over and yep, go ahead. I think you're still on mute, Mr. Brian.
Thanks, Timothy. There you go. Kia ora, everyone. It's Brian from Massey University. Thank you for being here, and we really appreciate the opportunity to talk to all of you. I'm just going to go fly over what we think are the greatest things to share about Massey, and then hopefully later on when we talk in the question and answers, we'll be able to break some of these down for you guys and answer a lot of your questions. But first of all, I'll kind of break things up a little bit with a little video as well. So let me see if I can share my screen here. And just to make sure that the sound is playing as well. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's a little video there. Now to share my presentation. Okay, I hope everyone can see that. All right, so Massey University is one of 8 universities in New Zealand. Some of you may know, or some of you may not. New Zealand is very fortunate to be a country that can say that all of our universities are in the top 500 in the world. I'm not sure if Naluri mentioned that because I'm not a native speaker of the language, unfortunately, but that's a very, very good thing. All the universities are government owned, government funded and supported, and it's a very, very high level of education here, as you probably hear from my colleagues in Siti Karina later on. Massey University is in the North Island of New Zealand. We have 4 campuses. We have the Auckland campus, which is, Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand. And we have a Wellington campus as well, and the capital city. and we have a campus in Palmerston North, where Massey first started as an agricultural focused college. Our fourth campus that we like to call is a distance campus, because Massey has been New Zealand's leading provider of distance education for about 50 years now. So, you know, something that came really handy in recent times when everyone had to switch to a distance mode or be innovative in delivering our programs. Massey already had all these facilities and all the teaching experience, and all the success stories, I suppose, from our years of distance training. There are a few things that we're good at. We teach a whole bunch of stuff, but we're not going to talk about every single thing right now. But there are a few things that we're really proud of, and you can see some of these things in the slide in front of you. Feel free to take a screenshot of that if you like. But just to summarize these things, we have there's a bunch of first rankings in there, and I'm going to quote the Shanghai rankings here. First in agriculture science in New Zealand, first in biotechnology, first in business administration, first in communication, first in political sciences, veterinary sciences, biological sciences, economics, environmental science, second in engineering, second in food science and tech, and second in nursing. There's some nice QS rankings there as well, if you look at the kind of peach colored area there. And of course, we boast some nice 5-star rankings if you look at the green box there on the lower right. So these rankings are important to us because it's very representative of what we believe in. And in fact, it's very representative of how New Zealand approaches international students. So we're 5 stars in internationalization. Obviously, it's a very, very welcoming country, very used to hosting international students or visitors or what have you. 5 stars in employability. Of course, if you go to university, you want it to lead somewhere. And most people want their university experience to lead to an illustrious career. 5 stars in inclusiveness. That's always a good thing, obviously, especially if you're considering coming to New Zealand at some point. You want to know that you're included. 5 stars in research. That's just a given for a world-leading university. You have to do research at a high level. 5 stars in teaching. In fact, the other green box on top of that highlights that we have 17 national tertiary teaching excellence awards. I don't know if that's updated. There might be more than that now, but we have the most number of teaching awards than any other New Zealand education institution. That's just a nod to the good teachers that we have, because of course, it's one thing to have great research as a university and be world ranked and all of that stuff. But it's very important for us to be able to transfer that knowledge in a very smooth and effective way to our students. And for you, obviously, that's what you pay for as a student. 5 stars in facilities. We do like to keep things up to date, and 5 stars in social responsibility, if you care about those things as we do. We have 5 colleges within Massey. So there's the College of Science, which is a massive college, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. Massey Business School, College of Health, Humanities and Social Sciences, and Creative Arts, College of Creative Arts. Right, first and foremost, College of Science. Just some things to note here. Again, I'm not going to talk about every single thing that we do. You can easily Google that. But some of the things we're really proud of is obviously our vet degree. We are obviously #1 in New Zealand for vet, number 19 in the world for vet sciences. And New Zealand is just one of those countries where, you know, a vet career is quite a good one. It's not as demanding as a human doctor. You know, you're an animal doctor, you're still a doctor, but it's not as demanding as a human doctor. But you know, you get the respect, you get the business, you get the demand. Most of the time, as a vet, you're in charge of your own kind of work schedule, and you're paid very well in places like New Zealand. So you know, it's a 5-year degree, internationally recognized. And yeah, and if you look at New Zealand as a country that's very, very serious in animals, whether you're talking about agriculture or animals, because, you know, agriculture and export is one of our biggest industries. If you talk about domestic animals and the pet situation over here, people love their pets as families. So obviously, you know, their health is a priority as well. So that's business for vets also. And then there's your exotic animals. Again, New Zealand is a country that cares very much for the animals, especially the ones that you can only find in New Zealand. So yeah, vet science is one of our strengths there. The other thing that's in here is food tech and construction. We're proud of those because they are 100% employment for us, and they have been since we started. Certainly construction, but for food tech, we started a long, long time ago. But since I can remember, and I've been around at Massey for about 10 years, it has been 100% employment. So that's a rare, there are programs you can boast a high level of employment, but 100% is quite high. And the average salary of a food tech grad, for example, is about $20,000 more than the national average salary. So a pretty good program, pretty good career. But the thing you'll notice about these two things is, for one, they're internationally recognized as well, and we teach at a very high level. Secondly, they're just industries that we're going to need for a long, long, long time. Food is always going to be there. We're always going to have to solve problems around food because we're humans and we need food. But also construction, the built environment. You might say the space is running out, but look around you. There's always something building, right? There's always people building stuff. There's always things rebuilding, things being replaced and stuff like that. So you might say, okay, we're having a space problem, but actually no, the building continues, and we get better and better and better. So these industries are very, very high demand, and we're very proud of the way that we teach them. Engineering is also here. New Zealand is, you might know, New Zealand is the world robotics champions in the VEX robotics competition for, I don't know, at least a dozen times, I think. And every year, or every time we compete as New Zealand, Massey University will either represent New Zealand or coach the team that represents New Zealand. In fact, Massey University, we get to keep all the trophies on behalf of the country. For our involvement there. So for our engineering, internationally recognized as well by the Washington Accord. However, we don't do civil. So we really specialize in the robotics field. So everything in mechatronics. So you got mechanical, electronic, computer engineering, all those things, but civil we don't do. All right, I think that's more or less the best ones there. We've got some pretty cool graduates from this school. Just an example I pulled out just this morning, Felix Loh, who is the CEO of Gardens by the Bay in Singapore. I don't know if you've been to Singapore, but or if you've watched movies that are set or dramas that are set in Singapore, they always feature Gardens by the Bay. So that's one of our alumni leading Gardens by the Bay at the moment. Moving on to Massey Business School, though. So our business school is the longest established business school in the country. We're accredited by the AACSB. If you don't understand what that means, the simplified version is we're in the top 5% of business schools in the world for international recognition. So there's a bunch of things there that we're really strong at. Accounting and finance, something we really are really focused on. In fact, Massey had the first live trading room, as in like a stock exchange room, in a university in the world. So we had the first one of those inside a university. Obviously, a whole lot of other universities are doing the same thing now because it's a really good idea. But in New Zealand, we remain the only university that has a trading room exclusively to us and not shared with other universities. So something we really, the accounting and finance field, we really take it seriously. If you want to be a normal accountant or a chartered accountant, and Massey, we can help you get there. Some interesting things in there is our programs in property. If for whatever reason you're interested in the property scene in New Zealand, it's very interesting right now for sure. We have business programs there, but we have business programs that focus on the aviation side of things as well, because Massey is known for our aviation degree. So we have a business degree for aviation management. So if you want to get into that industry, I know it's a little bit tricky right now, but when things go back to normal, it's a really, really huge industry. But the business side of aviation is much bigger than the things that we see. So when we think of aviation, we just think of pilots and the cabin crew and stuff like that. But 90% of the people in the industry are behind the scenes running businesses, right? So there's a specific kind of way to approach business there. So we teach that also. And then everything you can imagine that a business school would teach, we teach that as well. And there's a whole bunch of accreditations, international accreditations and rankings there up on the upper right. I won't say too much, but I will say this. Massey Business School is the most industry connected business school in the country. And so we want to make sure that what we teach is relevant, but we also want to make sure that you actually get a job after studying business at Massey. It's not just a business degree. It's something that you can actually connect to industry as soon as or even before you graduate. Anyways, College of Health. So they're it's a small college, but teaching these things at a very high level as well. Our nursing degree is it's obviously internationally recognized as well, nationally acclaimed. If you want to be a registered nurse in New Zealand, this would be the pathway to take. And sport and exercise falls under the College of Health. So there's the science and exercise side of sports fall under here, but you might be taking some favors from the business college if you want to look into sport management or athletes or team representation or management. So the business side and the science side, we both can teach you. A little fun fact, actually, the New Zealand Olympic team in the Rio Olympics a few years back was made of about 150 people, and about 90 or so of those people were Massey graduate students or alumni. Oh, well, current students, graduates, or teachers at Massey. So we get a very influential, a lot of influence over the sporting community in New Zealand. Next, the College of Creative Arts, also internationally acclaimed. As you can see, they're first university outside North America to be internationally benchmarked by the U.S. National Association of Schools of Art and Design. First in Asia Pacific by International Red Dot Design Awards for design. And we focus on these areas of design: fashion design, photography, textile, spatial design, industrial design, visual communication design. So that's kind of like your CGI and graphics. Concept design is basically creating worlds. So if you think about Lord of the Rings as a movie, you know, that's a created world. What do they look like? What do they speak? What are the races? All that stuff. So that's concept design, kind of building a world from scratch. Integrated design is basically, you know, integrating all of these things. Of course, we have fine arts, and we have creative media production, commercial music, and you know, everything in between, really. Little fun fact, actually, Sir Richard Taylor, who is the founder and creative director of Weta Workshop and Weta Digital, is a Massey grad. Another Massey grad from the design school is one of the head designers in the team that designed the first iPhone. It's hard to think of the world differently now, but you know, before we didn't have smartphones, the world was a very different place. So, you know, there's a lot of innovation in these kind of things. The creative director of Nike as well is a Massey grad. Very high, very high up there. I think the winner of America's Next Top Model or something like that was also Project Runway. Sorry, and I think a few years back, Project Runway, the winner of that is a Massey grad as well. So yeah, a lot of famous graduates. If you don't know this guy here on the screen, you might know the movies that his studio has made. So it's not just Lord of the Rings and King Kong. There's a lot in there, including two of the biggest movies of all time, and that's Avengers Endgame and Avatar. And everything in between. A lot of Marvel and DC, and you know, even games in there that they made. So these are actually all made by, not necessarily in Hollywood, but in a studio founded by a New Zealander, and we've got a lot of New Zealanders and Massey grads working on these movies, and they're still going. Obviously, they're still getting the biggest contracts in the industry, and that's that. Anyway, moving on, College of Humanities and Social Sciences is another college that we have. The main areas that we teach there are defense and security studies, education, people, environment, and planning, humanities, Maori knowledge, which is, Maori is the native people, native culture in New Zealand, English and media studies, psychology, and a lot more. I'm just going to try and fly through here because I want to keep to my 20 minutes. But one of our famous grads, you might know him, is Tito Karnavian, who is the Minister of Home Affairs in Indonesia. He is also he was the previous chief of police in Indonesia as well, but I'm sure a lot of you know that. So those are the 5 colleges. So just to summarize what Massey can offer you, we can offer you an internationally recognized college. Most likely, if you take one of these courses that we're promoting, it'll be an internationally recognized degree, but also it's a university that's very proud of the heritage of New Zealand. So if you study what Massey has been teaching through the years, you'll find that we're following how New Zealand is developing as a country and what New Zealand is giving to the world at this stage. How can we help New Zealand give that to the world better? So those are the kind of programs that we develop, that we go serious on, and then the rest is history, really, and still history in the making. We won't go too much into detail with entry requirements here, because obviously if you're going through TM College, then there's a specific pathway, hopefully, that you'll be leveraging. But as per normal, you need an academic entry, and then you need an English entry. Just a quick note on the accommodation. We do have the highest rated accommodation, student accommodation in the country. We are by ourselves in the 5-star category. Every other student accommodation is 4-star and below. Obviously, this is student accommodation. 5-star and student accommodation is not the same as the Grand Hyatt, but it does reassure you that the quality, the safety, the pastoral care, and the support is all there. And the way that the accommodation is run is sustainable as well and socially responsible. So those are the things that go into a ranking. Just some prices here. You can obviously quickly Google this, and I would recommend that you do. There are some virtual tours in there that are very handy to know what it looks like if you're looking forward to the time that you come to New Zealand, and we're looking forward to that. But a last note on scholarships. So to summarize, the scholarships that we have are about 5,000 per year. So if you take 3 years, it's 15,000. If you do 1.5 years for a postgrad, it's 7,500. But we do have a scholarship for undergrads, just undergraduates. That is 10,000 for the first year, and then 5,000 every year after. So you can do the maths on that. Right, so screenshot that or ask me questions in the FAQ section. But I don't want to eat into the time. I'm 20 seconds over, so I'm going to hand it back to our lovely hosts, and then we'll hear from my lovely colleague Audrey and Karina.
Thank you so much, Brian. So there you go, like aviation lovers, that's something that you can explore in Massey. Definitely nothing. It's a very unique site of study that you can explore in Massey, and probably nowhere else, or maybe very little universities offer that. So that's something that definitely can interest you. So thank you for that, Brian. Again, for those who have questions, bagi semuanya yang ada pertanyaan, bisa langsung tulis di chat ya. Nanti di akhir acara kita akan ada Q&A. Jadi nanti kita bisa ngobrol-ngobrol lagi dengan Mr. Brian mengenai Massey University. Untuk sekarang kita akan masuk ke dalam agenda berikutnya, yaitu ada Miss Audrey Voon, selaku International Market Manager Southeast Asia from University of Canterbury. Audrey, the floor is yours. Get right to it.
Thanks, Timothy. Hi, kia ora, everybody. I'm Audrey, and I'm from the University of Canterbury here in Christchurch, New Zealand. So today I actually have a special guest, Siti Karina, who will be joining me later to share her experience with all of you. So just to give you a bit of background about our university, I thought I'll actually start with a little trivia. So here you see the New Zealand $100 banknote and also $50 banknote. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because both gentlemen, which is featured on the country's banknotes, are actually famous graduates from the University of Canterbury. So on the $100 banknote is Lord Ernest Rutherford. He's the famous scientist who actually split the atom, and also known as the father of nuclear physics. And on the $50 banknote is actually the Apirana Ngata, who is a very famous politician in New Zealand and also the first Maori graduate. So just to give you a bit of background, the University of Canterbury, we are New Zealand's second oldest university and established by scholars from Oxford and Cambridge back in 1873. So we're also New Zealand's premier engineering university. So what does that mean? It means that we're the first university in New Zealand to ever offer engineering programs. And because of that, we are well known in the field of engineering. As you can see, we are highly ranked in engineering as well. And we're probably one of the very few universities that offer civil engineering. So if you're interested to become a civil engineer because of all the construction developments that is happening everywhere in the world, University of Canterbury is the world's best choice. So the other thing which I thought I'd mention is our rankings. Compared to 18,000 universities in the QS ranking, we're top 1% of universities worldwide, so highly ranked in the QS. Now, the University of Canterbury, we have 5 key colleges, and they are the College of Arts, the College of Business and Law, Engineering, the College of Science, and the College of Education, Health, and Human Development. And I'd also like to mention that the University of Canterbury's Business School is a Triple Crown accredited business school, which is only awarded to the top 1% of elite business schools worldwide. So perhaps that's one of the reasons why Siti Karina have chosen our university. So just moving on, we have a very, very strong research background, and we have over 17,000 students, which comes from 100+ nationalities from all over the world. A very, very international campus. And as you can see from the photo, we are a very centralized campus, which means you do not have to travel from one campus to another. And what does that mean? Saves you time and money, right? So the other thing which international students enjoy at the university is we have a wide range of student support services for all of you, from over 180 plus student clubs that you can join, from Curry Society for those of you that love curry, or to UC Gamelan Club, also PPIC, Student Volunteer Army, and we also offer free gym membership to students. So as you can see from the photo, we celebrate the Indonesia Cultural Day on campus as well. Lots of different things for you to do. We have prayer facilities on campus, and a fun fact is we're New Zealand's only university with our own bubble tea cafe on campus. So we have 9 outstanding on-campus accommodation options for you to choose from, very affordable. And as you can see from the photos, it's pretty cool as well. So this is our latest accommodation with over 500 rooms. There's also a master chef kitchen over here. So you actually get to enjoy cooking, and you also have the pleasure to actually enjoy yourself in a brand new music room, a study center, and also a recreation center, and a lovely, lovely courtyard to enjoy. And it's only 5 minutes away from the university. So how cool is that? So just to give you a bit of background about our university, we are New Zealand's, we are Christchurch flagship university. And just a bit about Christchurch itself. We are the largest city in the South Island of New Zealand, and New Zealand's 2nd largest city by population. So the cost of living in Christchurch is probably the key attraction for our international students compared to other main centers in the country. And also, if you're comparing Australia and New Zealand, Christchurch is probably one of the most affordable cities for international students. And the other thing is, the government of New Zealand have invested about $40 billion in the Christchurch rebuild. So what does that mean? You know, lots of opportunities, employment opportunity, but also an opportunity for you to enjoy new developments that's happening in the city. So here we are. Christchurch is in the South Island of New Zealand. Now, the reason why I like to show these photos is because a lot of people might not know, what type of food you can get in Christchurch. Don't worry, you can always get fried chicken in Christchurch, and also Ben & Jerry's ice cream. But there's lots of things for you to explore, and Karina can share a bit about that with all of you today. So what are the programs we offer at the university? We offer over 120 qualifications, but I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. We are the only university in New Zealand to actually offer astronomy. So we have a astronomy center, which is based in Lake Tekapo, and that's where you can see the aurora, really, really nice view and scenery there. So earlier on, I mentioned that there's 5 key colleges at the University of Canterbury. the College of Arts, which offers things like communication, languages, psychology, political science, international relations. We also have our College of Engineering, which offers things from civil engineering, mechatronics, up to software engineering. So the cool thing about doing an undergraduate degree in engineering is you actually get to study in state-of-the-art facilities on campus. You also get the global reach and recognition. In fact, University of Canterbury is ranked number 2 for employer reputation in the world for engineering. And we are a Washington Accord University as well, which is accredited by Engineering New Zealand. And those of you that are thinking for doing an engineering degree, there's a compulsory internship of 800 hours or 100 days and a final year project by industry. So there's a lot of close links between the university and also the industry. Now, this is a very cool undergraduate degree, which is gaining popularity. It's fairly new in the market, and it's called a 3-year Bachelor of Product Design, where you can specialize in different areas. For example, game design, or you might want to do chemical formulation design, where you can create your own cosmetics and even get to actually export your own brand overseas. We also have education for those of you that are thinking to do a teaching qualification or sports coaching, or also psychology and environmental health, and a College of Science where we offer lots of different science subjects, including a brand new 3-year Bachelor of Data Science, because this is one of a kind. Data science is gaining popularity in the world. And also we have a Bachelor of Speech and Language Pathology and Environmental Science with honors. So today we're here to talk about our business and law. Now we have a very, very popular Bachelor of Commerce, which is a 3-year degree. There's lots of flexibility which is offered within the degree, where you can actually choose to do a double major, and that's where you can actually gain, have the best advantage of your bachelor's degree. So Karina can share a bit about the majors that she's doing, but these are the different majors we offer under the Bachelor of Commerce. And this is a photo of our trading room. So yeah, that's right. We have a trading room at the University of Canterbury as well. Now, the cool thing about studying a Bachelor of Commerce or a business degree at the university is our UC Center of Entrepreneurship. You might be asking, what is it? So the UC Center of Entrepreneurship is actually a center which provides students with the opportunities to actually build capabilities in entrepreneurship and also innovation. So we know that Indonesian students, for example, you're all very creative. You get to actually apply your creativity and also get to experience networking with external organizations and actually get your real world hands-on experience with some of these challenges that we have. So there's lots of things to explore. Now, the entry requirement, as Brian mentioned earlier on, is basically set by TM College in Indonesia, but we offer 2 types of pathways to help you in your journey to New Zealand. So the first is the International Foundation year, and the second is the International First Year, where you actually complete your first year of the Bachelor of Commerce at TM College. And once the New Zealand borders are open, you then transition to the University of Canterbury for your second year. So what are some of the scholarships we offer? We offer $5,000 NCUK to University of Canterbury scholarship for foundation year students. And also these are the different scholarships available at the university for you to apply. You can take a screenshot of this. And here is what you can do to connect with us. You can view our courses, which are available online, and also connect with us through ucnz.live on Instagram. I'm pretty sure all of you have Instagram account. And you can even get a taster of how online learning is run from these links. So I'm going to share the presentation with all of you later. And that's all from me. But before I actually hand it over to my colleague Siti Karina, let's have a sneak preview of her video.
Halo semuanya, nama saya Siti Karina. Saya dari Jakarta, Indonesia. Saya adalah salah satu mahasiswi di University of Canterbury, tepatnya di New Zealand, di kota Christchurch. Paham. Dan lecturer di sini juga benar-benar friendly, terutama untuk anak-anak internasional. Terus UC juga karena berada di kota Christchurch. Christchurch itu kota yang paling saya suka karena pemandangannya benar-benar bagus dan easy access to road trip dan traveling di New Zealand. Perbedaannya jadi mahasiswa di Indonesia sama di New Zealand tuh, di New Zealand tuh mereka kelasnya lebih fleksibel. Jadi kalau misalnya kita nggak bisa masuk kelasnya, mereka punya online classes. Jadi kita nggak akan miss out tentang material pembelajaran kita. Terus di sini juga fasilitasnya banyak banget. Ada free gym, ada juga UC Health Center. Jadi kalau misalnya untuk international student yang hidup sendirian, terus sakit atau ngerasa nggak enak badan atau butuh obat dan lain-lain, itu udah semua termasuk dari asuransi kampus. Jadi semuanya gratis dan udah diurusin semuanya sama UC.
Okay, so that was Karina's video. Sorry about the little sound problem over there. But now I'd like to hand over to Karina. Hi, welcome, Karina.
Hi, Audrey. Thank you. Kia ora, everyone. I don't think I can turn on my video. I think it should be alright, eh?
Yes, boleh di-share aja, Mbak Karina, videonya.
Oh, aku nggak ada video sih. Okay.
There you go. Yes.
Alright.
Mungkin untuk kita untuk yang sesi kali ini kita lebih ngobrol-ngobrol aja kali ya Karina ya, biar semua juga
boleh.
bisa lebih kenal. Tadi kalau videonya udah summarize everything, tapi pastinya kan lebih seru kalau kita dengar langsung ya dari orangnya. Kalau apa pengalaman yang pernah dilalui sama Karina nih, mungkin sedikit perkenalan dulu nih, jurusan apa yang diambil di UC, tinggalnya di mana, lulus tahun berapa, seperti itu, boleh Karina?
Boleh. Jadi aku jurusan aku ambil itu Bachelor of Commerce in Marketing sama Operation Supply Chain Management. Jadi aku ambil double major. Terus karena kalau di UC itu, kalau misalnya kita ambil 2 major, kita nggak akan bayar lebih. Jadi kita bayar sama, tapi kita belajarnya lebih banyak. Terus aku tinggalnya, dulu waktu aku masih jadi mahasiswa, aku tinggal di depan kampus persis. Tapi sekarang aku tinggal sekitar 5 menit atau 10 menit drive dari kampus. Terus aku lulus baru banget November 2020 kemarin, jadi aku masih fresh graduate.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Bagus juga. Apa namanya, kalau selama kuliah, apakah ada kerja part-time mungkin, atau ikut clubs apa aja yang mungkin jadi sangat memorable gitu selama pengalamannya di Canterbury?
Untuk part-time, itu part-time pertamaku itu di Little Indian Restaurant, jadi aku jadi waitress di situ. Terus aku kerja di situ cuman pas summer break doang, karena di sini summer breaknya 3 bulan ya, lama banget. Jadi biasanya beberapa anak Indo balik ke Indo 3 bulan, kalau aku kerja cari duit supaya bisa jalan-jalan. Terus tahun terakhir aku kuliah tahun lalu, itu aku kerja di Max Retail, dia kayak toko baju gitu, jadi aku jadi sales assistant, dan itu sebenarnya pengalaman yang paling aku suka sih ya, karena pertama aku dapat diskon 50%, jadi bisa belanja terus. Habis itu aku juga diajarin kayak communication skills, karena customer service itu kan nggak mudah ya, apalagi yang kita facing itu orang-orang sini. Jadi culture-nya beda, bahasanya beda, terus accent-nya juga nggak mudah dimengerti. Jadi kayak awal-awal tuh bulan pertama aku masih kayak adaptasi, tapi lama-lama aku jadi mulai paham. Sekarang ya udah oke sih. Jadi kayak aku enjoy banget part-time itu. Terus selain part-time aku juga join clubs. Jadi tahun pertama aku di sini aku join kayak student body clubs gitu. Jadi aku ngebantuin anak-anak international student yang datang ke sini, ajak mereka ke city center, terus tunjukin mereka kayak library di mana dan lain-lain. Pokoknya ngebantu mereka untuk tahu kayak campus tour lah basically. Terus aku juga join 180 Degrees Consulting, itu kayak club untuk jadi kita jadi consultant, terus kita nge-face real client, dan waktu itu aku face ngebantu organization dari Auckland untuk ngebikin event buat anak-anak disable. Habis itu tahun 2018. Tahun 2019 aku jadi event manager di Canterbury Malaysian Student Association, karena waktu itu klub Indonesia sempat nggak ada di kampus selama setahun, tapi diganti jadi PPIC, like PPIC. Jadi dia lebih ke satu kota, jadi nggak cuma satu kampus doang. Perkumpulan pelajar Indonesia Canterbury. Yes ya. Abis itu tahun terakhir aku kepilih jadi Vice President-nya UC Global Society. Jadi kalau 2019 itu aku kerja sama murid-murid Malaysia, tahun kemarin aku kerja sama 13 murid dari negara yang berbeda-beda. Itu yang menurut aku ngajarin aku banget untuk apa ya, kayak paham gimana sih cara kerja sama orang yang totally different background dari kita. Jadi itu seru banget sih, walaupun lagi pandemi, tapi kita survive setelah Juli kalau nggak salah, dan di situ kita mulai ada event-event lagi. Jadi ya menurut aku enaknya di UC ini kita nggak cuman belajar, jadi kita nggak cuman fokus yang yaudah jadi kutu buku gitu di keluar negeri cuman untuk belajar, tapi kita juga banyak banget pengalaman. Dan enaknya di sini tuh student support-nya untuk international student tuh banyak banget, dan mereka emang pengen ngedorong international student-nya tuh buat lebih aktif lagi. Jadi kayaknya itu juga yang ngebuat aku berani untuk keluar, karena of course waktu kesini kan pasti aku takut-takut kan, apalagi bahasa Inggris bukan first language aku. Terus akhirnya alhamdulillah setelah aku lulus, aku ditawarin kerja di UC untuk ngejalanin kayak ngebantuin international student yang overseas, yang belajar online. Jadi kayak kasih support lah ke mereka, terus bantuin mereka juga buat online exam dan lain-lain. Habis itu aku juga ngejalanin Instagram ucnz.live. Di situ kita ada 12 ambasador dari 10 negara yang berbeda-beda. Jadi kita mau bikin UC itu accessible untuk semua orang dari semua negara kayak gitu. Jadi kalau kalian mau tahu gimana kehidupan international students di UC, follow aja ucnz.live karena itu aku nge-share kayak pengalaman aku waktu jadi student tahun lalu dan tahun ini kita juga nge-share ambasador kita yang international students itu dari 10 negara yang berbeda gitu.
Very nice. Nah, ini pas banget nih ada pertanyaan dari Natania Alma untuk Karina dan actually ini nyambung dengan apa yang aku ingin tanyakan juga next. Mungkin perbedaan paling besar yang paling terasa gitu ya belajar di Indonesia dan juga di New Zealand. Kalau kata Natania mungkin termasuk learning hours ataupun learning schedule-nya gitu kan, ataupun ada hal lain yang sangat berbeda menurut Karina dari cara belajarnya.
Menurut aku kalau di Indonesia, karena sebelum aku datang ke sini aku sebenarnya sempat kuliah sebentar di Indo. Perbedaannya tuh kalau di Indo gimana ya, kayak kita tuh dari pagi sampai sore belajar terus. Terus kelasnya tuh setiap hari pasti ada kelas. Jadi mau nggak mau kalau kita jadi mahasiswa ya kita full time student. Kalau di sini tuh nggak, mungkin first year kita akan ada kelas tiap hari karena masih tahun pertama kan, jadi semua pelajaran harus diambil. Terus tahun kedua, tahun ketiga tuh relax banget dan itu kita bisa pilih sendiri. Kayak aku sengaja waktu itu sempat 1 semester aku cuman punya kelas hari Selasa sama Rabu. Tapi Selasa Rabu tuh penuh seharian. Jadi Senin, Kamis, Jumatnya aku aktif di clubs. Jadi bikin event atau enggak ya pokoknya aktivitas buat student, terus involve di clubs lain juga. Jadi social life sama student life-nya tuh balance. Terus weekend aku kerja part time. Jadi kayak gimana ya? Kan banyak orang yang takut homesick kan kalau misalnya kuliah ke luar negeri. Kalau aku sih mungkin awal-awal iya ya waktu masih mau adaptasi, tapi makin lama makin kesini kayak karena aku selalu ada yang dikerjain tiap hari, jadi alhamdulillah nggak pernah ngerasain homesick sih. Gitu.
Jadi berarti dibilang memang secara kesehariannya juga lebih eventful kali ya, nggak cuma belajar aja.
Iya, betul. Dan
untuk belajar sendiri juga gitu Karina kali ya, harus ada.
Iya, itu juga bedanya. Jadi kalau di Indo, kalau kita kan biasanya kita yang ngejar-ngejar dosen, biasanya gitu nggak sih kalau di Indo? Di sini tuh kita ada student support, which is yang akan terus kayak ibaratkan ngingetin kita terus lah, kayak oh jangan lupa ini itu. Jadi kita insya Allah nggak akan keteteran gitu. Dan lecturer di sini baik banget, kayak dan mereka paham banget sama international student. Kalau misalnya kita kayak misalnya aku di kelas, terus dosennya ngomongnya terlalu cepat misalnya, terus aku nggak terlalu paham. Itu mereka ada office hours yang aku bisa datang ke office mereka untuk belajar one-on-one session, dan mereka ngejelasinnya pelan-pelan karena dia tahu bahasa Inggris itu bukan first language aku. Jadi dia ngejelasin secara gimana ya, supaya aku tuh bisa paham. Kayak gitu deh. Jadi mereka mau make sure semuanya itu akan pas, nggak ada yang fail. Kayak gitu deh. Jadi menurut aku itu yang ngebantu banget kuliah di UC. Terus yaitu dia student supportnya, lecturernya, dan juga grup projectnya banyak. Jadi di kelas pun kita ada temen gitu.
Kalau generally speaking, selagi pandemi gini, pengalaman Karina di New Zealand ataupun di Canterbury sendiri gimana sih? Apakah ada specific support atau generally ngerasa aman-aman aja atau gimana?
Kita waktu itu lockdown sekitar 6 minggu, kalau nggak salah, apa 7 minggu gitu tahun lalu. Terus abis itu kan COVID benar-benar hilang kan selama 100 hari kalau nggak salah.
Wow.
Jadi menurut aku oke-oke aja sih. Aku mungkin waktu yang lockdown 6 minggu itu agak paranoid ya, kayak nggak mau kemana-mana, ya udah di rumah aja. Terus university juga sempat decide untuk term break selama 1 bulan. Jadi kita nggak ada apa-apa selama 1 bulan. Abis itu akhirnya kita online learning. Online learningnya sih menurut aku nggak banyak orang yang bilang online learning kayak bikin nggak fokus dan lain-lain. Kalau aku sih oke-oke aja ya. Aku aku enjoy aja, dan lecturernya pun juga kayak mengerti gitu. Kalau misalnya kita ngerasa, karena kan itu nge-effect mental juga kan kalau misalnya kita di rumah setiap hari. Terus temen aku ada yang minta buat extendin assignment dia karena dia ngerasa dia nggak bisa fokus di rumah, dan dikasih seminggu. Jadi kayak mereka pengertian banget, dan setelah lockdown pun ya kayak nggak ada apa-apa karena udah nggak ada COVID lagi, jadi kayak normal life aja sih.
Oke,
Ya.
mungkin ini nanti ini ada pertanyaan juga nih dari Muhammad Farel ya. Nanti kita mungkin akan lebih go through lagi saat di Q&A section. Tapi untuk di pertanyaan terakhirku nih, untuk ya, sebelum kita lanjut ke agenda berikutnya, pertanyaan paling penting. Kalau untuk kehidupan mahasiswa nih, pastinya untuk jalan-jalan, kegiatan apa yang pernah dilakuin sama Karina mungkin selama di New Zealand gitu, apa sih yang perlu di-visit gitu?
Oke. Aduh, banyak banget nih kalau ngomongin tentang visit, kayak 1 jam ya. Singkatnya, di sini tuh, pertama, mobil itu sama persis kayak di Indo. Jadi kita nyetir di bagian kiri, pokoknya ya setir, ya si supirnya itu di bagian kanan. Jadi mau road trip kapanpun pun kayak mudah-mudah aja gitu loh. Dan di sini jalanannya mudah dimengerti. Dan karena aku di Christchurch, dan Christchurch itu di South Island tuh kalau menurut aku jauh lebih bagus dari North Island karena dia lebih banyak gunung-gunungnya, lakes-nya. Aduh, banyak banget deh, aku nggak tahu mau sebut yang mana, tapi yang paling aku suka itu Queenstown. Queenstown tuh bagus banget, aku udah 7 kali ke sana. Dan akan balik lagi terus. Habis itu Lake Tekapo juga bagus. Ya, Lake Tekapo kayaknya aku udah 9 kali ke sana. Karena dia cuma 3,5 jam nyetir dari Christchurch. Jadi ya kalau kita weekend bosen, ya udah kita jalan ke Lake Tekapo, terus malam-malam pulang kayak gitu. Jadi kalau masalah jalan-jalan, coba cek UCNZ.live. Di situ aku banyak banget nge-share video-video aku waktu road trip. Terus aku juga nge-share video aku tentang accommodation di sini. Jadi aku kasih room tour dan lain-lain waktu aku masih student. Jadi coba aja cek di Instagramnya supaya kalian bisa lihat kayak sebagus apa sih New Zealand nih kayak gitu.
I see, oke. Thank you banget Karina untuk sharingnya. Nanti kita akan masuk ke dalam Q&A section. Pastinya nanti akan ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan lagi nih yang udah di-share di chat juga. Untuk sekarang kita lanjut ke agenda berikutnya dulu ya. And also thank you Audrey for the sharing. Definitely was sold when you said bubble tea cafe, and then I was sold on the spot. Definitely would love to go there one day once the pandemic is stopped. Tapi kita lanjut dulu ya ke agenda berikutnya. Jadi kalau tadi kita udah dengar dari Mr. Brian, dari Miss Audrey, dan juga dari Karina ya mengenai semua pengalaman mereka, dan juga dari Bu Naluri tentang INZ. Sekarang mungkin izinkan aku untuk share sedikit juga tentang TAM College dan siapa kita dari awal, belum sempat perkenalan juga. Singkat aja, maybe cuma 5 menit, karena juga terbatasan waktu ya. Kita mau pastikan ada cukup waktu untuk semuanya bisa tanya-tanya lebih banyak, baik ke Brian, Bu Naluri, Audrey, ataupun ke Karina gitu ya. Jadi aku akan share sedikit aja mengenai TAM College, dan dari semua yang sudah di-sharingkan hari ini, di mana sih kita bisa berperan gitu ya. Jadi kalau secara singkatnya, TAM College ini adalah sebuah institusi pendidikan yang mana kita provide alternatif pathway ataupun sebuah pathway untuk teman-teman sekalian, untuk Bapak Ibu yang anak-anaknya berencana kuliah ke New Zealand, untuk bisa kuliah 1 tahun dulu di Jakarta nih sebelum lanjut tahun kedua dan tahun ketiganya di actually kita punya Inggris, Australia, dan New Zealand pastinya. Untuk di New Zealand sendiri kita sekarang punya 6 university partners, pastinya 2 yang hadir hari ini, Massey University dan juga University of Canterbury gitu ya. Jadi sekali lagi 1 tahun di Jakarta dulu, letaknya TAM College di Jakarta, lalu tahun kedua dan tahun ketiganya ada di New Zealand, seperti itu. Jadi sudah tidak usah khawatir lagi karena tahun pertama di TAM College sudah setara dengan tahun pertama kalian di New Zealand. Yang membedakan hanyalah letak geografisnya saja. Semua kurikulum, semua silabus, semua mata kuliah kita ambil dari UK, tapi sudah disetarakan dengan university di New Zealand. Jadi tinggal lanjut ke tahun keduanya aja. Keuntungannya apa? Tadi Bu Naluri juga sudah sempat share ya, pastinya pertama-tama soal cost gitu, karena kalau di 1 tahun di Indonesia dulu pastinya penghematan kalian bisa even up to 400 to 500 million gitu kan, tergantung kayak hidup kalian masing-masing pastinya ya. Yang kedua, tadi kalau misalkan Karina juga sempat share mengenai preparation English gitu kan, karena mungkin banyak dari kita yang English bukan first language kita dan kita masih perlu preparation, maka TM College hadir untuk membantu preparation tersebut, baik itu secara bahasa maupun secara akademik gitu ya. Dan ketiga, mengenai fleksibilitasnya. Jadi dengan satu program yang sama, kalian punya opsi untuk ke 22 university partners, seperti itu. Nah, memang untuk sekarang ini, tadi kalau misalkan baik Brian maupun Audrey udah share tentang banyak sekali ya jurusan-jurusan yang bisa diambil di kedua university yang sudah sharing hari ini. Kalau di TM College, kita memang lebih fokus ke arah social sciences-nya ataupun ke bisnis lebih tepatnya. Jadinya untuk sekarang pathway kita hanya bisa membantu kalian untuk kalian yang tertarik mengambil baik itu accounting finance, business management ataupun events management. Pertanyaannya Kak, kalau misalkan saya tidak tertarik nih ke arah bisnis gimana? Kita bisa bantu, tapi memang ada limitasinya, teman-teman. Jadinya ada jurusan-jurusan yang ditawarkan oleh university partner kita yang memang tidak specifically masuk ke dalam ranah bisnis, tapi masih berhubungan. Misalkan information system, ada tadi aviation and business, gitu kan, atau misalkan business and digital business, misalkan, atau business law gitu kan, ada beberapa universitas yang menawarkan itu, tapi pastinya memang ada limitasinya. Untuk sekarang ini kita tidak bisa menawarkan jurusan-jurusan seperti engineering ataupun kedokteran gitu kan, atau apalagi ya, misalkan sciences gitu ya, natural sciences gitu, untuk sekarang kita belum bisa tawarkan seperti itu. Nah, mungkin tanpa berpanjang lebar karena tadi sudah sharing banyak ya tentang New Zealand, aku cuma mau sharing aja mengenai student support dan entry requirement. Jadi kalau di TM College sendiri, basically untuk masuk tahun pertama di TM College, kalian harus selesai sekolah dulu ya, lulus selesai SMA 3, kelas 12 setara, tergantung dari program yang kalian ambil, baik itu program internasional seperti Cambridge maupun IB, ataupun bagi kalian yang mengambil kurikulum nasional, kita bisa terima dan kita bisa bantu sesuai dengan nilai kalian. Kita butuh tes profisiensi English. Nah, tes profisiensi ini bagi teman-teman yang memang sudah atau berencana mengambil IELTS ataupun TOEFL, kita minta 5,5. Tapi bagi teman-teman yang tidak berencana mengambil, maka bisa menggantikannya dengan tes profisiensi English dari TM College sendiri. Dari situ kita bisa bantu, jadi tes internal kita, teman-teman sudah tidak perlu mengambil IELTS ataupun TOEFL lagi. Karena nanti saat 1 tahun di TM College juga ada pelajaran English-nya, gitu. Jadinya itu sudah disetarakan juga nanti dengan menggantikan IELTS ataupun TOEFL, kalian sudah tidak perlu mengambil lagi saat kalian transfer, baik itu ke Canterbury, ke Massey, ataupun ke universitas di New Zealand lainnya, seperti itu. Untuk support yang kita berikan, pastinya yang kita lakukan hari ini hanyalah tip of the iceberg, jadi cuma hal kecil yang kita lakukan, pasti ada banyak hal yang bisa kita support kalian mengenai information, kita bisa sambungkan kalian dengan baik itu alumni seperti Karina hari ini, gitu kan, dengan application kalian kita akan bantu visa, akomodasi, dan arrival juga. Tadi kalau misalkan Brian dan Audrey sempat share juga mengenai accommodation, kita bisa berikan kelengkapannya mengenai itu. Dan pastinya bagi teman-teman mungkin yang hari ini join dari luar kota, kita juga bisa bantu untuk akomodasi saat di Jakarta, 1 tahun di Jakartanya, seperti itu ya. Dan untuk scholarship, memang sangat banyak ya. Tadi kalau misalkan Audrey maupun Brian sudah share sedikit mengenai scholarship yang mereka tawarkan. Kita juga menawarkan scholarship saat 1 tahun pertama di TM College seperti itu. Jadi kita nawarin up to 30% off pas di TM College-nya sendiri. Lalu masuk tahun kedua, tahun ketiganya itu baru mengambil alih scholarship yang ditawarkan oleh setiap university. Seperti itu. Nah, itu mungkin singkat aja mengenai TM College, aku tidak mau berpanjang lebar. Nanti mungkin pas penutupan kita juga akan ada sedikit informasi tambahan buat teman-teman yang tertarik. Tapi untuk sekarang ini aku ingin buka untuk sedikit Q&A gitu ya. Tadi ada beberapa pertanyaan yang sudah masuk, kita bisa lebih dive deeper into itu gitu ya. Okay, first off, maybe this is a question for Brian. I see that one question was answered already. There was another question from Natalia earlier. I have questions for Brian. If I join the IY1 program, so if she joins the program from TM College, and be joining on the second year, the scholarship that you mentioned with the 10,000 in the first year and the additional 5,000 for the year after, does that still apply, or is it only the 5,000 that will be given to the students in their second year? Hi, Brian, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I was trying to talk there. I don't know what was going on. Yeah, so she will get a scholarship from the year that she starts, or anyone can, if you get the scholarship to begin with. So yeah, as long as you're studying full time as well.
Okay, so that 10,000 doesn't actually apply only for year one, but it's for the first year that they're studying at Massey. Is that correct?
Oh, so the 10,000 is the no, she won't get the 10,000. She'll just get the 5,000.
5,000 plus 5,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. That's the answer to your question, Natalia. I hope that answers your question. So it's the 5,000 per year scholarship that you will be getting. Of course, you have to apply for it when you go to the second year. Okay. Thank you for that. Nah, ini mungkin ada pertanyaan for UC admission team. This is a question for Audrey maybe. Can the Indonesian future student have the foundation of year one to enter the UC through the TM College in different field, such as the languages or international relations? Let me try to reword that. So, Amin, please let me know if I'm getting you correctly. Oh, so it has been answered, sorry, by Audrey.
Yeah, always ahead, Timothy. Yeah, so that's the benefit about completing a foundation year at TM College. So not only are you restricted to business programs, successful completion of the foundation year will actually give you undergraduate entry into our year one of our bachelor's degree programs.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for that. And now ini pertanyaan untuk saya sendiri dari Simon. Jadi pertanyaan mengenai internal English test ya. Jadi sebagai klarifikasi dulu mungkin, jadi di TM College sendiri kita tidak menawarkan yang tadi Audrey sempat mention sebagai foundation year. Yang kita tawarkan adalah international year one, yang mana tahun pertama di TM College itu setara dengan tahun pertama di New Zealand University, seperti itu ya. Yang mana kalau foundation itu biasanya sebelum kalian menyelesaikan sekolah. Kita menyediakan program yang mana kalian setelah selesai SMA 3 baru masuk ke dalam TM College. Pertanyaannya adalah, dengan internal test ini, apakah ini menggantikan IELTS saat nanti ke New Zealand? The answer is yes. Jadi yang menggantikan itu sebetulnya bukan internal testnya sendiri, tapi lebih ke arah pelajaran English, kita namanya EAP ya, English for Academic Purposes, yang mana pelajaran English for Academic Purposes ini saat di TM College nantinya akan menggantikan keperluan IELTS ataupun TOEFL kalian saat ke universitas pilihan. Seperti itu. Semoga menjawab ya. Nah, ini sekarang pertanyaan yang tadi untuk Karina nih. Ada 2 pertanyaan yang masih lingering. Yang pertama, which path does it take to study at Canterbury? Maksudnya gimana ya? Jadi mungkin bisa ceritain sedikit dulu Karina sebelum ke UC kemana gitu kali ya, and then how long does it take to finish untuk Karina study di New Zealand, seperti itu mungkin pertanyaannya.
Oh, jadi kayak proses aku pas di Indonesia.
Iya, kayak gitu deh. Kalau yang aku tangkap ya dari pertanyaannya dari Muhammad Farel dan Kan ya.
Oke, sebenarnya itu aku mendadak banget, kayaknya itu 2 bulan deh. Jadi aku emang udah ada IELTS kalau nggak salah. Aku agak lupa ya, soalnya itu udah 4 tahun yang lalu. Ya, kayaknya aku udah ada IELTS, terus aku apply ke UC, abis itu diterima. Setelah aku diterima, aku langsung apply visa, karena kita harus ada offer letter dulu kan dari si kampusnya itu. Terus aku apply visa, dapat visanya, terus aku lewat agent waktu itu minta diurusin masalah accommodation, terus aku 5 bulan pertama tuh aku tinggal di homestay, jadi ada host parents gitu. Terus tiket dan lain-lain, kayaknya semuanya 2 bulan sih. Ya, sekitar 2 bulan, nggak lama kok. Ya.
Okay. Kalau untuk tips nih, Karina, tips for Indo students who are planning to go atau learning in New Zealand seperti itu.
Tipsnya, ini tips untuk apa nih? Untuk supaya dapet di UC, maksudnya di kuliah di New Zealand atau tips untuk jadi student di New Zealand?
Jadi mungkin kalau pertanyaannya sih memang general ya, tidak spesify apa-apa, tapi mungkin kita lebih spesify aja untuk murid-murid yang planning to go to New Zealand, preparation-nya apa sih gitu kan, apakah secara akademik kita harus sudah fasih dalam berbahasa Inggris, atau apa sih?
Kalau menurut aku, dulu kan aku nggak ada lewat kayak TM College gitu kan. I wish I had that, to be honest. Kalau misalnya aku di posisi kalian, aku mungkin bakal first year di Indo dulu, supaya aku nggak terlalu kaget di sini. Terus tiba-tiba semua langsung bahasa Inggris, semuanya orang-orang yang nggak aku kenal. Jadi mungkin prepare yourself dulu untuk masalah bahasa, terus kayak belajar tentang kayak gimana cara bikin esai, referencing, dan lain-lain. Walaupun di sini bakal diajarin, tapi kayaknya lebih enak kalau kita paham gitu ya di Indo. Karena waktu aku sebelum datang ke sini pun, kayak bahasa Inggris aku tuh pas-pasan banget. Jadi aku lumayan struggling. Terus apalagi ya yang harus disiapin? Siapin mental mungkin karena akan tinggal sendiri. Tapi ya apa ya? Mungkin belajar jadi mandiri, karena kan kalian bakal tinggal sendiri di sini. Terus tips lainnya juga, kalau misalnya kalian emang akan kuliah di New Zealand, jangan dibawa stres, jalanin aja, karena kayaknya itu yang aku hadapin, aku jalanin aja. Terus jangan malu-malu, jangan takut-takut untuk bertanya, kayak kalian datang ke webinar ini aja tuh udah bagus banget. Terus coba research lebih banyak lagi tentang apa yang mau kalian pelajarin, terus research kayak kampus yang mana yang emang menonjolkan pelajaran yang kalian pengen, yang kayaknya yang Timothy bilang di awal tadi, jangan sampai kalian misalnya mau belajar bisnis terus ambilnya kampus yang bagusnya tuh di engineering, contohnya kayak gitu kan nggak nyambung gitu kan. Jadi coba do research lagi, abis itu tanya-tanya ke alumninya juga. Terus ya itu aja sih paling.
Oke. Itu tips and tricks dari Karina ya bagi teman-teman yang mau studi di New Zealand. Thank you Karina untuk jawabannya. Nah ini ada pertanyaan satu lagi, maybe kita ambil pertanyaan ini sebagai pertanyaan terakhir ya karena keterbatasan waktu juga. Ini kayaknya untuk aku sendiri deh. Kak mau nanya, kalau program yang kita kuliah dulu di Indonesia 1 tahun, ada syarat-syaratnya nggak ya? Jadi nanti kalau kuliah 1 tahun di Indonesia, itu kehitung nggak? Apa kita tinggal lanjutin di luar negeri atau mulai dari awal semester lagi? Ya, jadi kalau misalkan untuk kuliah yang di Indonesia, itu sudah setara dengan tahun pertama kalian di New Zealand. Jadi saat nanti kalian berangkat ke New Zealand, itu langsung masuknya tahun kedua. Baik itu di University of Canterbury, baik itu di Massey, maupun di University di New Zealand. Seperti itu. Yang maksudnya university lainnya yang menjadi partner kita. Seperti itu. Jadinya kalian tidak usah mengulang tahun pertama lagi, tidak usah mengulang semester pertama lagi, langsung lanjut ke tahun kedua. Pastinya kalau secara syarat, kita memang sekarang ini lebih limited ke arah jurusan bisnis. Jadi kalau memang yang bertanya itu memang tertarik ke arah bisnis, maka kita bisa banget bantu untuk itu. Tapi kalau memang tertariknya misalkan ke arah engineering atau kedokteran atau tadi misalkan sciences gitu ya, yang mungkin masih sangat jauh dari bisnis, untuk sekarang kita memang belum bisa bantu seperti itu. Oke. Thank you banget untuk semua pertanyaan-pertanyaannya. Ini ada satu lagi dari Amin ya. Mungkin Amin kalau boleh share kontaknya ke kita nanti kita bisa jawab lebih detail lagi, karena ini pertanyaan yang lebih spesifik ya ke University of Canterbury juga. Nanti kita bisa sambungkan ngobrol-ngobrol dengan Audrey lagi, pasti lebih lanjut, karena memang ini sesuatu yang perlu kita telusurin lebih dalam lagi dan tidak bisa dijawab langsung dalam waktu 1-2 menit seperti itu ya, Amin ya. Jadi kalau boleh share kontaknya ke kita, nanti kita akan hubungi kembali dengan jawabannya, seperti itu. Oke. Nah, untuk agenda berikutnya, basically kita akan ada sedikit closing after this. Once again, thank you for all the speakers today, Bu Naluri, Audrey, Brian, and also Karina. To close this, kita mau serahkan lagi ke Ririn ya, mungkin untuk bisa menutup sesi hari ini. Thank you.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Timothy, terima kasih semua teman-teman yang sudah bergabung untuk live mengikuti webinar hari ini melalui Zoom maupun yang sudah bergabung dari YouTube. Sebelum kita meninggalkan Zoom ini, jadi saya mau mengakhiri dulu yang sesinya yang di YouTube ya teman-teman. Teman-teman mohon untuk tidak live dulu karena kita mau foto bareng nih untuk dokumentasi